Hi, I'm Vicky. I love books and enjoy reading. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is to read. If I go for a run, I listen to an audiobook. In my leisure moments, I read whilst enjoying some good music. Are you an avid reader or you're not learning how to read? Maybe you used to enjoy reading, but somehow it has become a thing of the past. Come on this journey with my guests and I as we dive into various books and themes these books talk about. Every week, I speak to various authors who are behind life-transforming books, as well as promote various stakeholders within the publishing industry. The Kiddie Zone segment on the show is meant specifically to ignite reading interest in your child. Watch The Writer's Blog on this station and on Sunny 88.7 FM every Saturday at 1 p.m. This program is powered by Reveal Multimedia and supported by The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.
Hello and welcome to the Writer's Blog talk show. Right here on this channel, we are seeking to promote authors and their works, also other stakeholders within the publishing industry. If you are looking for that one main platform to push your books or any literary things you are into, this is it for you. Number on your screen: 0552-535-036. Our website is thewritersbloggh.com. So www.thewritersbloggh.com. Follow us on our social media handles and platforms: X, IG, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Of course, TikTok is at WritersBloggGH or the Writers Blog Talk Show. I am Vicky Amwa, supported by a super team here led by Gabi. I'm excited about the twist when it comes to leading or leadership that Reverend Justice Sagoe brings to the table when it comes to this book, Leading Inside Out. The secret to true and extraordinary influence. When we are back, he's right here. We'll dive straight into this book. Please stay with us.
Attention all wordsmiths and storytellers. Are you ready to elevate your literary game? Introducing Reveal Multimedia Limited's editorial services, the one-stop destination for all your writing needs. Are you wrestling with writer's block or time constraints? Fear not. Our team of expert ghostwriters is here to breathe life into your ideas, crafting compelling stories that resonate with your audience. Editing and proofreading precision is our forte. We polish your prose until it sparkles, ensuring every word shines on the page. But that's not all. Need your spoken words captured in text? Our audio-to-text transcription services will transform your voice into written brilliance. And for those seeking a voice that stands out, explore our voice work services, jingles that linger, audiobooks that captivate, commercials that sell, and documentaries that tell tales beyond imagination. Authors, get ready for the spotlight. Our PR experts will launch your book, grant you interviews and promos on the Writer's Blog radio and TV platforms, all tailored to make your book a sensation. Contact Reveal Multimedia Limited today, 0552-535-036 or 0208 428-322. Email revealmultimediagh@gmail.com. Visit our website www.revealmultimediagh.com. Remember, every story deserves to be a masterpiece. We can make that happen. Reveal Multimedia Limited. Dreams come alive.
Welcome back. It's still the Writer's Blog Talk Show right here on this channel. Let's take our quote for today. I also picked it right from the book, and it's by John C. Maxwell. It says, everything rises and falls with leadership. Reverend is here. Let me just give you just a little bit about who he is. Reverend Justice Sagoe is an ordained minister at the United Denominations of Action Chapel International, and he's passionately spreading messages of reconciliation and spirituality. With over 15 years in financial leadership, he guides companies through growth. He's a co-founder of Mayon Medical Center. I got it correct, right?
Correct.
Okay. Limited and the West Africa Microfinance Training Institute. He showcases entrepreneurial drive and community commitment. He's a holder of a BA in economics, an MBA in finance, and a chartered economist. He is also an active member and contributes to organizations like ICEG, GCYE, and SEF. These are all technical, I'm telling you. He's married to Mrs. Janet Sagoe, and he cherishes family life, and they have 3 amazing children. His 5 Clifton strengths are learner, focus, ideation, analytical, and responsible. Welcome, Reverend Sagoe.
Thank you, Madam Vicky.
I just love your drive for the things you do.
Thank you so much.
And I thank God for your life.
We thank God.
But the first time I heard that you've established a medical, I'm like, I was looking at it, I'm like, is there a medical qualification somewhere that I'm not seeing?
No.
That really shows your entrepreneurial drive, actually.
Mercy and grace.
Nice. But really, why did you decide to put this together?
Okay, so Vicky, thank you so much for this opportunity. Greetings to you and your team here present. I'm very happy and very elated to be on the platform where you promote literary works and also publishing works. And I don't take this platform for granted at all. I believe strongly that you are doing a good job and you need to be commended. So kudos to you and the team for the work that you are doing.
Thank you so much.
So why did I decide to write on leadership? This inspiration that came about this leadership thing was some years ago, when I was introduced to a particular leadership book by my chief executive officer at the time. His name is Mr. Arnold Parker. We call him the Baron. And I mean, he got this book for all the staffs of the business at a point in time.
Okay.
So obviously I had a copy of that book. The title of that book was Leading with That Title by Robin Sharma.
Okay.
So he encouraged all of us to imbibe and read that book. And after reading that book, I got inspired. I had a different mindset about leadership and the fact that you don't need a title to see yourself as a leader. And there's a leader within everybody. And you just need to unleash that leader within you. So that book gave me a different viewpoint about leadership. And I said, look, once I've gotten this kind of hit by the book, I need to also go out there to spread the gospel. So what I did was to hook on to a program on Live FM then, just to take about 15 minutes to really bring home the discussion around leading with that title. So through that program on Live FM, on the live press show, was when I had this inspiration that, look, you can put all what you are doing into a book.
Okay. And
you can also share with people just beyond you, so that people will be blessed by this whole idea of leading with that title and what leadership's all about. So that's the inspiration. However, as I had the inspiration, I was pondering over it. I've been going over the inspiration. I had a different insight that, look, leadership has been discussed one way over the years, where we always look at leadership from the outside, which we can call external, or the outer leadership, where we are always putting the focus on influencing others, the focus on always making an impact in the lives of others, which is very good, because that's the essence of leadership, the social influence. However, what about the personal influence, which many a time we don't talk about? So you see leaders out there who look very great in the eyes of people, but when it comes to their self, it leaves so much little to desire. So I said, look, I also have to look at leadership from that concept where we blend the two. Yes, social influence, I agree, that's very important, but what about the personal influence? And that's where I have this gut feeling that, look, I must look at leadership from that perspective as well.
That's right.
Where I consider the leader as part of the influence, not always others at the social aspect. So that was the birthing of the book I authored last year, by the grace of God, less than a year old. But the traction is gathering is very humbling, and I'm very privileged that Ghanaians have brought into this book, and it's making waves out there, also imparting lives out there. So Vicky, that was the inspiration that I look at leading inside out, which I believe strongly is the secret to true and extraordinary influence. If you want to make great strides in leadership, once you're able to lead yourself so well, it's easy to translate to leading others, because whatever you do with leading from yourself or leading yourself is the same principles that you apply leading others. It makes it easier for you because then you have the blueprint
to follow
when it comes to yourself to follow, and it makes life easier when it comes to leadership. So that's the inspiration, and I thank God that I had right and I'm really applying myself to the leading of the Holy Ghost.
You did hear right. And you know, sometimes when you're talking, I'm like, do you have any political ambition? I know people. I remember I once upon a time lived in Okankwe South, but I've left the Okankwe South to Ghana Central Municipal Assembly. When I was living at Okankwe South in Bubiashi, that's where I was born and bred from. So I'm a really booby guy. Booby guy.
I'm a booby guy. So my Bubiashi guys, kudos to you or hello to you. So I remember people started telling me that, why don't I get into politics and stand for MPship? I'm like seriously. MPship? No. I'm not sure I want to be in active politics. However, there's many ways I can contribute to this nation building. Than instead of having to be a political figure. And you know, being a Reverend Minister, I want to be very neutral. I don't want to hurt any feelings in my church. In my church, we are all parties are there. So we are always advised to stay neutral, but still you can make a contribution meaningfully to society and your community, even at the national level, not necessarily having to have a tag on you as a political activist per se. So yes, if I have the call to serve, it's about service. It's about service, and that's what it is.
Well, I love your spirit, and I'll repeat it again. And so, just in case you have the call to that, let me know so I can vote for you.
I'll let you know.
But the cover is amazing.
It's
you
amazing,
see a match lit.
That is it.
And then it's, you know, starting off all the way there. Great. The book is about, let me check one more time, about 119 pages.
Yes.
We have chapter 1, self-exploration. Define your personal mission, vision, and personal objective key results. It's chapter 2. Chapter 3, create a compelling personal action plan. Nice. Chapter 4, personal execution. Chapter 5, self-discipline. 6, personal adaptability, agility, and resilience. And then we have personal growth and development, self-integrity, self-evaluation, building and maintaining healthy relationships, and the God factor.
Great, the God factor.
I'm reading just a snippet of Bishop Emeritus James Sa's, foreword. And he says, this book serves as a compass, guiding you through the intricacies of leadership, offering practical wisdom and empowering you to cultivate the leader within you. What is leading inside out?
Okay, thank you so much. And let me say a good evening to Bishop Emeritus James Kwekusa, who happens to be our president for the Dominion Theological Seminary. If you want a seminary with very sound biblical principles, where you'll be trained by seasoned men and women of God, I recommend Dominion Seminary to you. So leading inside out, it's a leadership concept, or it is a practice of mastering what I call leading self. So it's all about mastery of leading self, where you have the drive towards personal transform, because every leadership must have a goal, must have an objective.
That's right.
You can't stand up and say you are leading when you don't know where you are going. I mean, that could be a useless venture. Yes, so you must always know where you are going as a leader, and ensure that you are focused on meeting or attaining that particular objective or that particular goal. So leading inside out is basically you mastering leading yourself or oneself, where you drive your own personal transformation or change whilst remaining very authentic, whilst remaining very truthful to yourself. I think that is for me, that is the byproduct of leading inside, because if on a day you are not able to lead with authenticity, on the day you are not truthful to your own self, you lie about your own self, your own values, your own belief systems, then you can't qualify to be termed as an authentic leader. So, yes, you are leading yourself, but at the end of the day, it should come with some authenticity to the whole discussion of leadership.
Okay.
So, once you are able to influence your own thinking, you are influence your own feelings and your own actions towards achieving that drive of personal or that drive to achieve what we call a purpose-driven life. That's the whole essence of leading inside. So on a day you are going to lead, but you watch and say like, wow, I've really attained a purpose-driven. At the same time, I'm very authentic. I'm very honest with myself. I'm not faking myself. I'm not being like somebody. I'm following my own values, my own belief systems, my principles.
That's
so
right.
you see, you live from a place where you are like, you are fulfilled inwardly. So you're not faking it because you want to just to lead, and that's what we are lacking in our current dispensation, where we have more leaders out there. But if you ask me, are all the leaders out there authentic? I cannot say, because sometimes you see leaders, they say one thing, they do another thing. They believe in one thing, they do another thing. They don't walk the talk. That's the problem we have with our current leaders now. So in recent times, there's more discussion around pushing the discussion around authentic leadership from just mere leadership, because everybody can call yourself a leader. But what will make you have what I call a lasting impact is to lead with authenticity, where you are truthful, you are honest, you are sincere with the people, you don't cut corners. I mean, you lead from a place of value, place of principles. And that's what is lacking in our current dispensation. And look at what we are currently seeing, which I've seen. I think somebody pushed to me, I think YPG of Presby pushing Stop Galamsey Now. And just last week, there's been a lot of call from civil society groups, another 1 million Ghanaians, that they must stop Galamsey now. But if you hear the political apparatchiks, their comments, their oratory, it's like they are not bothered about what is happening, and even the cry that, look, we are being poisoned by the day. Can we stop this thing now? Look out for a more sustainable way of mining. And for me, I mean, what I'm very surprised about, and that's what I'm saying, that most leaders are not honest. We had some years back where our own president said, look, he's putting his presidency on the line to stop this menace of Galamsey. And today, you are hearing his own political apparatchiks say something different. So the man says something, but what is happening on the ground is different from what is happening. So the question is that we always say, but the doing becomes something that is also different from what you said. This is purely what we are speaking about, that we must have leaders who be truthful to us as Ghanaians. Without it, I don't know where we are going. And all countries that have developed over the years, their leaders are truthful to their people. When it's yes, they'll say yes. When it's no, they'll say. When it's black, they'll say black. When it's white, they'll say white. But in our case, they'll say white, but meanwhile, the thing is black.
I'm here with Reverend Justice Sagoe. His name is Justice Sagoe, and we're discussing from his book, Leading Inside Out. So all that he's saying is that leadership must start with you. When we come back, we are talking about self-exploration. It's a Writer's Blog talk show. Please stay.
Good news for everyone. The Writer's Blog Talk Show is now on podcast. Listen to engaging book discussions and reviews. Discover authors behind amazing books. Find the right book to read. Listen now on your preferred podcast platform: Apple Podcast, Spotify, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Overcast, and Google Podcasts. Follow the Writer's Blog on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Writer's Blog GH. On YouTube, The Writer's Blog Talk Show. Send us an email at thewritersblogGH@gmail.com or give us a call on 0552 535 036 or 0208 428 322. The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.
Welcome back. This is the Writer's Blog talk show. I'm here with Reverend Justice Sagoe discussing from his book, Leading Inside Out. Speaking of leadership, we have the Nyansapo Club, which is TWB Nyansapo Club, mentoring, young readers, young writers, and of course, creative artists. So what it is that children between 8 and 15 are being groomed to be excellent writers. They are being groomed to speak well, public speaking, all of that, reading techniques, everything. And then when it comes to creative arts, we have the doll making, we have the beading, and then we have the arts. And that's what leadership is all about, leading inside and then out. And so please, if you want to be part of the next cohort, please reach out to our team 0552 535036. I love this, Reverend, that really leadership must begin with me.
Very important.
How do I discover myself in this whole thing?
Yeah, thank you so much. If you look at the book, it was properly chronicled. It follows a certain sequence, a certain order. And it's not just out of place that the first chapter deals with what we call self-exploration. In other areas, you hear self-awareness, self-knowledge, self-learning. It's all the same thing.
Okay.
And I believe that is where it all starts from. To lead yourself or to do anything meaningful in this life, it starts from knowing who you are. It's very, very important. I mean, everything rises and falls on knowing yourself as a person before you even start the leadership journey. So many people have asked, how do I discover myself? It's something that is doable, it's achievable, but you must understand that it starts from that point. And one, you must be intentional when it comes to this exercise. You must not be wishy-washy about this, because then if you do that, you might not discover yourself and you might just live on this earth without a purpose, without any aim, and you just die and live without leaving any impact behind for people to remember you for.
Yeah.
I always say that legacy is not what you leave behind, but the impact you leave in others. So yes, leave properties, all right, leave the cars for your family, but true legacy is the impact you leave in others. That's very, very important. So how do I unravel or discover myself? It's very important you do this, because in leading, you need to have certain tools that you need. And these tools you need are already embedded in you as a person. When God created man, God gave us everything that we need to live on this earth comfortably without any stress, without any difficulty. So whatever we need, whatever tools we need to lead ourselves is already embedded in us as a person. Once we're formed in our mother's womb, God gave us all these potentials which reside in us. It's a matter of you unleashing them, then you're able to benefit from the fruits thereof.
That's right.
So you must do this exercise of knowing who you are. The question is that there are many things that you have to ask yourself in this exercise.
That's what I wanted to find out. How do I?
Yes, so which normally I prefer that you will do what we call self-reflection or self-introspection.
Okay.
And in doing this, as I said, you must be intentional. Seriously, you must. And normally I advise that you get an environment that's very serious to do this with little or no distraction, where you talk to yourself. You ask yourself, I mean, whichever age you are in, you can engage in this exercise of sober reflection, medication, where you pick a book, you pick your pen, you can record it in your tablet if you have the means to do so. Where you ask questions like, look, what are my strengths as a person? You see, you need the strength to be able to develop what you call your abilities, what you call your skills, what you call your competencies. So you ask yourself that, yes, Reverend Justice, what do I think is my strength? What am I very good at? What do I have that my next neighbor doesn't have?
Okay.
What will I say that is something that can give me an advantage over the other? You journal it down. Don't just assume that it's in your head. No. The Bible said Habakkuk, they must write down the vision plain. So you must write it somewhere that, so these are my strengths. It's very important. Every one of us in this world has a strength. God did not create anyone useless. So we have a strength in each of us. You just must ask the questions and be able to get the strength out. Of course, based upon your experience in life, you can know things that you are very good at, things that you do it with ease, without any difficulties. It's also part of your strength.
It just comes to you.
Just naturally, you do without any stress. And things that you do that you're like, you feel this personal inner peace and fulfillment. Like Like you love doing it. It's a strength that you must pen down. Beyond the strength, we are human beings, so we have what we call weaknesses. We have limitations, things that we all struggle about. Look, nobody on this earth will tell me they don't have a weakness. Then you are a spirit, or you are an angel, or you are God himself.
You're a saint.
Or you are a saint. We all have things that we struggle with in life. And these things, if not checked, can have a negative impact on we achieving our goals as a leader, or achieving our personal goals, or being able to lead a purpose driven. So you must really know what are those things that becomes an impediment on your way. So for instance, what are your traits? You know, there are things that you see, these things, if I don't take it off the way, it can become a threat for me achieving my goal. What are the things that you're very passionate about? Things that you cannot sleep over, like it eats you up. Like it gives you that kind of drive, that kind of energy. What are the things that you find very interesting to do? Like Vicky, I know you are very interested about this whole promoting publishing, promoting literary. I think that's a passion you have. And it's very important, you must know, because see, once you know some of these things and you pen them down, then you know where to direct your focus. You know where you have to put your energy in. So you don't waste energy, you don't waste your time. Because time is of essence, and as we all know, we cannot buy back time. So once you lose it forever. So, and also of course, you also need to ask yourself things like, what are my emotional triggers, for instance? You know, we are all emotional beings. And in recent times, there's one essential skill which we call emotional intelligence. It's very critical to self-leadership. It's very core. Beyond self-awareness, the next thing is emotional intelligence. How am I able to regulate my emotions and that of others to ensure that we live in a peaceful and in a harmonious community or a harmonious society? So you must be able to know that what are the things that triggers me emotionally. It's very important. See, once you're unable to appreciate some of these things, you get triggered, and if you're not careful, you misbehave, and you're like, oh, I wish I would have not done that. But I mean, we just had one case in a school, O'Reilly school, which is a public knowledge now, where two guys were just having some kind of disagreement. The other one, I mean, got angered and couldn't control his emotions and has to stab the young guy 3 times to death. If this gentleman understood the fact that these things were going to trigger him emotionally, and really did appreciate the need for him being irritated by his emotions, I'm not sure he will go the route he did. And now he's found himself into trouble. Yes, the young guy is dead anyway, but he himself will have to go and face the full rigors of the law because he lacked what we call emotional intelligence. So it's very important that, see, once you're able to know who you are, able to discover who your person is, then of course, if you know these things tend to anger you, you don't go near those things.
That's right.
Or you master how to deal with your emotions. Even if it can, you know how to deal with it, so it doesn't become an emotional excess which can land you to trouble. So knowing yourself, for me, is the starting. I mean, look, if you don't know who you are, I mean, you cannot. Even Jesus Christ at the point in time asked his disciples, who do people say I am?
Men say I am.
So Christ even understood the importance of self-awareness. It's very important. So all of us must know who you are. It's very critical. If you don't know who you are, then that's when the wind can toss and blow you anywhere, and you just follow suit.
Let me just share with you some of the merits of knowing who you are. Okay, it unveils the depth of self-awareness and self-knowledge. Self-exploration also boosts self-confidence and self-esteem. It enhances relationships. It uncovers one's purpose for a fulfilling life. Beyond that, you talked about self-discipline.
Yes.
One of the things that you need to be able to survive when it comes to leadership. Let's talk about that.
Self-discipline for me is everything. Look, that is where many a time we all drop the ball. Many a time we all give up on the way, because you see, leadership journey is not a straight line. It's not a straight line. It behaves like the business cycles, where we have the peak stage, you have the trough, you have the recoveries and the depression and what have you, and the troughs and what have you. So life in itself is not a straight line. Let's put it in this context. Of course, we all wish that we get what we all plan for. We all wish that we get what we all desired for, but sometimes along the way, you're unable to achieve some of these things. And one of the things that run through for most of them is that many a time we lack the self-discipline to carry through even our own plans that we've been set for ourselves to embark on. And self-discipline for me is everything, because look, as I said, as you go along, you'll be hit with some storm, some obstacles. In a world that we live in, where there's a lot of volatility, uncertainties, ambiguities, you wake up today, different trends within the tech space. You wake up today, things are changing very fast, and quickly, if you're not able to catch up, you'll be left behind. So it's very important for us to know that things are going to fight us as we embark on this journey of leading from inside out. We'll have our plans all right, which is very important. You have your goals, your business, that's fine. But along the line, you might face obstacles. Are you going to say because of that you're going to back out? Because of that, I say you will not do it any longer. You're going to throw in the towel. That is a big no. So self-discipline for me, I see it as you being able to do what you say you will do, even when you don't feel like doing it.
That's right.
Sometimes, like, yes, you have the plan, you've drawn your resolutions, you have your goals, but like you wake up like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah.
The moment you have this gut feeling like you don't feel like it, and you're able to overcome that feeling, the meaning you've mastered self-discipline.
Okay.
So yes, you'll be hearing the voices, you'll be having that contention in your spirit. You know, Bible says that Galatians 5:17, that the spirit and the flesh is always at contention. And always sometimes words like, oh, susumpe. Once you're able to overcome some of these statements, then you are mastering self-discipline. Because see, without it, you end not achieving your goal. You will end somewhere when the destination has not been gotten to. And there's two words that I believe explain self-discipline in its simplest form.
Yeah.
Persistence and consistency.
That's right.
It defines self-discipline in a very simple way. Persist at what you plan to do.
Okay.
Don't give up. Be consistent at what, once you believe that this thing is the goal, this is the path you are going. It doesn't matter what people will say. Of course, feedback is also very critical. I mean, there's a saying, feedback is the food for champions. Sometimes you must just sit down, review, take feedback, and I mean, if you have to review it and just move forward. But don't give up on your purpose-driven agenda or goal. You need persistence and consistency.
This is great, and I'm loving it. I wish we could go on and on without a break, but we have to take this break. But this book is super. It also gives call to action after every single chapter, which helps you to plan. What it means is that it's helping you to take the next step, so you are not stagnant where you are. Other pointers about self-discipline and how to go about it is to set a goal and an action plan. He also says, find your motivation, identify and remove distractions and obstacles. Find an accountability partner. It's
very
just
important.
like when you want to lose weight.
Yes.
And you feel that, Charlie, this one, I'm doing it all by myself.
Before
you realize you've gone back
you give it up
to every single thing you didn't want to do. So this point is so critical, and then take care of yourself. When we are back from this break, there's more. Please stay with us.
Congratulations to Vicky, she's been so amazing. She's been able to find a niche for us Christian parents who are just looking for ways to empower and encourage our children.
Seeing kids, parents, teachers coming together to talk about books, to talk about reading. I believe that the little ones who came around today have learnt a lot.
It was amazing, and I loved the part of the kids where you could color, you could build houses out of blocks, make whatever you want.
It's a kind of a marketplace where we brought together both writers to think through and relate to the value of reading.
Today has been awesome. We've been able to introduce more people to the awesome work that Janelle has done. The 2 books were nicely patronized, and we thank you.
Coming face to face and joining many authors who have written amazing inspirational books was an exciting one for me. Also, the active involvement of children, especially at a young age, is a good turning point, especially for this particular program.
With God's help, it's going to get better and bigger. Great job, Bryce's vlog, and we wish you all the best.
Welcome back. I'm having a time of my life right here in the studio with Reverend Justice Sagoe, discussing from his book, Leading Inside Out. We've talked about quite a number of things. Of course, what is leadership and how important it is for you to start leading yourself, so you can then translate into leading other people. And then he's talked about the most important aspect of it, which is discovering who you are. If you don't discover who you are, how else can you do this? And then you need self-discipline to keep up. And now, one of the most important, should I say, commodities, since we are talking, integrity.
Integrity.
What is that?
Integrity. And look, let me take a quote from the book from Brian Tracy, another man that I follow, I love. I have most of his books, soft and the hard as well.
Okay.
He says something, and that begins. So in my book, every chapter begins with a quote.
An amazing quote.
It ends with a quote.
Yes.
With a call to action. Very unique. This is what Brian said. He said, integrity is the most valuable and respected quality of leadership. Always keep your word. That is Brian's appreciation of self-integrity. Do our people keep their words? Self-integrity is just in simple terms, you aligning your inner man with your outer man. I shouldn't see that difference. If you say this is your value, if you say this is your principles, I should see them in your actions. Don't tell me one thing and do another thing. Mean that you are not truthful to your own self. You lack self-integrity. So in simple terms, whatever you say you are you the person on the outside? And you see, this is where people say that, look, it is when, or it's actually you when nobody's watching.
Yeah.
It defines who you are when nobody's watching.
In person, in public, and in secret.
That's the point. So you must be the person in private and the same person on the outside. So nothing must change about you. You don't come and portray holier thou on the outside.
And then?
But on the inside or in your private, you are something else. I mean, you are unable to align your inner man with your outer man. So, and you see, people who uphold self-integrity go far in life. If you're a leader and you're able to appreciate self-integrity, your impact becomes everlasting. Your impact will be there for everybody to come and see. People like Nelson Mandela, look, I mean, his impact will be there for everybody to come and see, will experience, will talk about it. This was a man who really upheld self-integrity, where they align their inner man to their outer man. So there is no difference when they are outside, and there's no difference when they are inside. And that's what most of our leaders are lacking in our part of, it's very sad in our part of our world. And that's why we see the result there. You see, in leadership, is garbage in, garbage out. And if we are crying about our leaders, poor leadership cries on our continent, in Ghana, as we are crying now. Look, for me, the bus stops with the leader. So it's very important. If people are not living by integrity, we are doomed. That's where you see the corruption, the bribery, the galamsey. I mean, all the social evils you see is because people lack self. Look, if you uphold integrity, there's no way you do things that you know that is hurting your fellow human being. If you uphold self-integrity, you will not do things that will hurt your brother, that will hurt your sister. If you uphold integrity, you will not cut corners to enrich yourself. I mean, against the masses. So it is very important that, and it's very sad that we are losing this important value. But I believe that we should begin from the schools. Look, Vicky, truth to be told, if you're going to see, I say that our leaders are a reflection of the citizens. True or false? But these people grow amongst us. They go to school with us. They live in the community with us. They are in church with us. So our leaders we see now is a total reflection of the citizenry. And if we are able to imbibe these values in our case as they grow up, also grow up and be part of the corrupt leadership, be part of leadership that don't think about people. It's just all about themselves. But we must get to an era where we say yes when we mean yes, we say no when we mean no. Not a case where we say yes, but at the backside we mean no, or we say no, but behind us or in our mindset we say yes. So it's very important that it must begin from our kids, so they can. Because for me, if they lose self-integrity, we are doomed.
I agree with you.
We are doomed, and we will not have any nation.
And we need to start now.
Very important.
We need to
with
start
our kids.
Now. Yes,
very important.
With our children. We
very
need to
important.
start now. You also mentioned a few people that have upheld integrity. Professor Emeritus Stephen.
That's my father. That's my father. That's my father. A very wonderful man. And Prof, I salute you. This is your son. You know, he was at my launch of the book as a special guest of honor.
Nice.
And since then, we've connected. I had dinner with him some weeks ago. We had a very nice time, 3 hour session. 3 hour session with him. He's a wonderful man.
Yes,
he's a wonderful man.
Yes,
Prof.
He is.
And
yes,
look, you can tell. Look at Prof's life. You can tell. He's able to align his inner man with his outer man. Prof will say it as it is.
Yeah.
He will not hide corners. He will tell you to your face. Whether you like it or yes. No wonder, he was pushed out of the GRA board because he said something that people were not pleased about. And the time he realized they brought in somebody else without even his knowledge. But that's politics for you. I think now he said he's now going to retire and now focus on himself and
his family.
And impart lives as he's doing. So, Prof, I love you. You know it.
And he has a soft heart for children as well. He has launched some children's books, and so
you know he's also an educationist as well.
That's right.
The Ghana Christian School belongs to him. He's doing amazing work there.
It's still the Writers Block Talk Show right here on this channel. I'm here with Reverend Sagoe discussing from his book Leading Inside Out. Now, you shared a certain secret with church leaders. Since you're a pastor, I want to veer off to that.
Yes, very important.
And that is on the chapter Self-Evaluation.
Yes.
And so this is page 106. You said every church leader who wants to make great impacts detests stagnation. And you said you were going to share some practical tips for every church leader. And you used the Sagoe's PTA model. And I thought it's a good point for this season.
Yes, it's very important. I know one of the things that men of God are grappling with in recent times is the fact that most of them are not seeing growth in their church. Most of them are struggling, even spiritually. Most of them are not really seeing the flock grow and develop as they wish. So as men of God, because one of the things that will make a man of God satisfied to see growth, both the spiritual growth of their members and also growth in the numbers as well, in terms of the outreach, in terms of the souls that they are winning. And you see, this leadership permeates every aspect of our lives. I'm not just about the corporate or leading soul, but also up to apply to we the men of God who are leading God's people. We are very important leaders when it comes to the scheme of leadership, because we lead the flock, we lead God's people. Well, we are leading them to a destination, that's eternity or heaven. So there is a goal, and as a church leader, as a pastor, as a shepherd, as a man of God, you must have time to reflect as to the growth of the church. Sometimes, you see, we get too busy as men of God. We don't have time to even sit down to reflect. That's what I brought about the Sagoe PTA model.
Yeah.
Well, it's just a simple model. Say, look, at some point as men of God, I know sometimes we are very busy going here, attending funerals, baby naming ceremonies, weddings. Our Saturdays are very booked. Weekdays, we are everywhere, praying for the church members, spending hours at night, midnight encounters. So we are very busy. If you're not careful in your busyness, you might lose the mark. In your business, you might lose the focus, and it can have an impact on your church. We must have time, and that's why we do retreat.
Okay.
As men of God, so that you can go back and review and know whether you are hitting the target, whether you are meeting the target, whether you are losing souls, whether members are leaving you, whether members are happy, they are not happy. So you must apply what we call the pause, the think,
so that's the
and
P.
the act principle.
Wonderful.
You pause at a point in time. You think, reflect, ponder, have a review session. I mean, go out with your team members, your team leaders, your church leaders, your elders, your deaconesses. Review what is happening. I mean, are you on the right track?
Yeah.
But some people can be so busy the whole year, we've not even had time to even do this evaluation as a church. But it's very important. Any church or any group that you want to grow, you must have time to pause, time to think, and time to act. You see, you get what we call a renewed energy.
Yeah.
You get rejuvenated when you go through these retreat sessions.
Yes.
When you go back and look at what is happening and take feedback, take lessons, take clues, and you become great when anytime you're able to do this PTA model thing. When you do it well, you come back every now refreshed with new ideas, and you can move the church. So, pastors and men of God, I know the work is very tough, it's very difficult. I know, I'm in it myself, but still, let's make time to do this evaluation on our church and everything that we are doing. It's very important.
Wonderful, wonderful. And this is not just for church leaders, but he's also a corporate man, and so he's speaking on both sides. I just decided to take that bit also for the church. So the call to action for this particular one says, in what areas of your life can you use Sagoe's PTA model of self-evaluation? And what practical steps are you taking to improve your weaknesses in these areas? Without proper evaluation, self-wise, failure is inevitable. It's time for TWB Nuggets, also book bars and some highlights. We go for that. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Hello and welcome to TWB Nugget. We have been talking about how to improve your child's reading and writing skills. We shared about 1. Personalizing story time for your children, and 2. Putting on a reading theater for the home. Our tip for today is decode mystery words. This is where you read part of a book out loud to your child, omitting one mystery word that is frequently used, like because or always. Introduce clues about that mystery word in the text, including the number of letters it has, a letter the mystery word contains, or even a specific sound in the word. Ask your child to guess what that word is. Celebrate solving the mystery word in a final reading, asking your child to clap every time the word is read. That is a fun way to introduce new high-frequency words to your child. That being said, I want to encourage you to enroll your children in our Nyan Support Club, a 3-month mentorship training program for young writers, readers, and artists between the ages 8 to 15 years. Call or WhatsApp 0552 535 036, 0552 535 036 for more details. And that is our tip for today. Tune in next week for another key tip on how to improve your child's reading and writing skills. I'm Ba Bokran. Bye bye for now.
journey of our young writers, readers, and artists. Today marks the amazing 3 months of coaching, mentoring, and nurturing the incredible talents of these bright minds. As I stand here, I'm filled with pride and awe as to how far we have come. This year, we are not just celebrating the achievements of our students, but also 5 remarkable years of transforming lives through books and creativity. Since we began this journey, the Nyansapo Club and Review Impact Initiative have been dedicated to creating spaces where young people can explore their potential, grow their talents, and shine in ways they never imagined. Over the years, we have hosted countless book-related events. We have book club activities, programs aimed at empowering parents, children, and all of that, all in the bid to educate and help them in the area of learning.
And so I'm glad to be here. This is my first time here, and I'm absolutely loving the energy that I'm receiving here. I feel like I was actually crying at a point, yes, because it feels so nice to see children who are so open and vocal.
The Nyansapo Club has really helped me to gather some courage to be able to speak in public.
And ever since I came to this place, I have improved my writing skills.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I'm the team lead right here at Review Impact Initiative, and we are the creators of the Writers Blog, book review show, radio, and TV. It's also all over the place on podcasts. We began a book club somewhere 5 years ago, and out of that we have been able to churn out young readers, young writers, and young artists. And this is called the Nyansapo Club. And this year, for the first time, we have been able to outdoor 17 of them. Parkwesi is all the way in the US, and he was able to join in. We outdoored also a collection of 7 stories from these youngsters, and it will blow your mind. You know, when you see a child has written a book, everybody feels, oh, it's this or that, but this is solid. This is solid, and we thank God for these stories. This collection of stories is dubbed the Nyansapo Tales, Voices of Young Africans, and this is volume 1.
Yeah, it was very impressive, I must say. When I was coming, I didn't know the form it was going to take. I didn't know that I was going to see a hard copy, but once they started doing the videos and everything, I was like, wow. And actually I was really crying when the blurbs were being read. Yes, the facilitators have done very well, and I'm so impressed. Yeah, my daughter is here. Okay. Yeah, Priscilla, she wrote the Brotherhood. When the whole thing started, in fact, she wouldn't even let me in her room. She was always stuck and glued to the computer. So I'm like, why are you writing? So I'm still writing. I never got the opportunity to even read because she wouldn't let me read. And what actually surprised me was she was not even writing on a paper to counsel. She actually put the drive in the machine, and she didn't even have a backup. Everything was straight from the head to the drive, and I was like, wow, I didn't know she could go that far. And so we thank Kenneth for that wonderful work. And for the first time, yes, I love it, and I admire people who write. I'm not one of them, so I'm happy at least I've gotten somebody through my daughter, and I hope to support her. That's if she really wants to continue with it. Thanks to the Writers Blog.
Thank you so much for joining us. Those were a few tidbits for you. I'm here with Reverend Sagoe discussing from his book, Leading Inside Out. It's a very fantastic book. Before we go to the chapter, which is chapter 11, the God Factor.
The God Factor.
How can we get copies, and how much is this going for?
Okay, so for the copies, because we've gone digital, Vicky, we must follow the season.
The season
is very important. So it's available on Amazon.
Okay.
Available on Seller.
Okay.
If you want them to deliver to you personally, you can also go on Book Nook. Once you order, they will deliver the book at your door, at your doorsteps.
Okay.
If you also want to have it from me myself, I have a delivery system that we can get the book to you wherever you are. Just have to reach out to me.
Okay.
And am I good to mention my number?
Yes, please go ahead
at this
and
point?
do so.
So my number is 0246 189847. 0246 189847. What I'm doing, Vicky, is the fact that I'm going on a road show. So I have calls from churches, institutions. When I go, awesome. I give them a good discount. It's very important, especially with the schools, for instance, the SHSs, the universities. Once I'm there, I have good time with the student. I give very good discount, because for me, it's not about the money per se. It's about the impact that the book is making out there. And it's 100 Ghana cedis for the physical copy.
Okay.
But for the e-copy,
the
e-version is just 70 Ghana cedis.
Okay. Just
convert to dollars. It's just.
I know what he's going to say is peanuts. But it's a good investment. Just so you know, it is a good investment. Because this is a solid book. As we wrap up, Reverend Sagoe, the God factor.
I love that one. I love that one. You know, in everything I've said, let me read a scripture in Acts 17:28.
Okay.
The CEB version. In God we live, move, and exist. As some of your own poets said, we are his offspring. It means that in everything I've said on this show or in this interview, if you leave out the God factor, it will be difficult to achieve whatever I've mentioned in this interview. It is very critical, because there's a scripture that says that it's God who gives us the power to make wealth. So even our drive to make, which I know we all want to be wealthy, it's fine. We want to be rich, we want to make the money, it's cool. But if God doesn't give you the power, God doesn't give you the strength, the knowledge, the know-how, the wisdom, you mess up. So even in everything I've said, self-exploration, you having your own plan, your goals, self-discipline, whatever I've mentioned here, if you take away the God factor, if you take away that supreme factor, that divinity factor, you end on the rock, because our very existence is defined by God, and whatever purpose we want to achieve on this earth is premised in God. As I mentioned in Jeremiah 1:5. Before we're formed in our mother's womb, before we came out as babies, God has already set us apart and has already predestined us already.
That's right.
So if you want to lead inside out and you ignore the God factor, yes, you can do what you are doing, but you might not have a genuinely fulfilled life, because you are living outside of God's purpose or God's plan for your life. It's very important. So the God factor for me, must underpin all the disciplines that I've mentioned in that book. If you leave it out, I'm sorry, you might not achieve your God-given purpose.
Men and women today that glory in their works, accomplishments, and achievements do so because they are oblivious to the God factor in their success stories, and many a time end up in struggles, miseries, and failures.
That's it. That's the summary of the whole thing.
This is a solid book. You must get a copy. See the handles as you watch this particular episode, and so you can get it online. Book Nook. You can also get it on Amazon as well, or you can call the number on the screen, and of course there's a system in place to deliver to you wherever
you are. And also engage me for the roadshow. It's very important.
Yes,
the roadshow that I'm doing.
Yes, for that matter. So let me just share with you again. I know that Rev, before we end, I would like you to talk to any corporate person who's also a Christian, because we have seen in time past how it's difficult to hold on tight to your faith in the corporate setting.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that's a good observation, Vicky, as you said. And I said that, look, we must not become Sunday Christians. And from Monday to Saturday, we do something else. You see, and it's still about aligning your values, your inner values with your outer values. Still on leading inside out. So yes, look, you can be a Christian and be a corporate leader from the true essence of you being genuine, you being authentic, you being honest. You don't have to cut corners. As I said, Prof. Stephen Ade, he's a staunch Christian, but he still upholds his values. I think that's what it is. So people feel like, oh, if you're a Christian, if you're a man of God, if you're a pastor, you can't do genuine business in Ghana. You must always cut corners, always take some bribes, some corruption here for you to succeed. No. You can succeed in holiness. Prof has a book where he talked about we being rich whilst we are Christian. It's possible that you can be a Christian and become very wealthy, very rich, without necessarily having to cut corners. And so it's very important. So to my Christians who are corporate leaders, who are political leaders, and for me, look, even though I said I want to remain neutral, I also encourage that we have more Christians in political circles. So leadership is very important because, you see, if they're unrighteous rule, we all suffer.
Yes, right.
So I agree that, yes, more if you have the calling to be a political leader as a Christian, as a man of God, please go all out there. Go out there, be in leadership, let's change the narratives. Let's go. And you see, something that the thing is that, oh, when they go, they also be influenced by the negative systems within a political circle. That's the problem. But I believe that they are genuine Christians who are politicians, who are very clean. They are doing a clean job and they are out there. So you can still be a staunch Christian. You can be a pastor, a man of God, woman of God, and go out there and impart your space genuinely without you having to cut corners. It's possible. It's doable. Once the Holy Spirit is in the equation, He will help us to navigate through this world of perversion. Let me put it.
That's way. Great. So there you have it. I'm going to give him his final word to you and I as we're here. I've given him quite a number of final words. But this is the actual final.
Yes.
When it comes to this book. It's a fantastic book. It's going for, once again, 100
Ghana cedis for the physical copy,
for the physical
and 70 Ghana cedis for the e-copy.
Online. And details are on there. Reverend.
Okay, thank you so much, Vicky and the team here for this opportunity. I'm very happy, and I said I'm very blissful to be on your show today and spending time with you. I would say that it's been a very good one with the team. I've loved the session.
You.
What I'll say as my final words is that leadership is a serious business. Leadership is not a joke. If you want to have the real impact of leadership, which we know is about influence, then we must see leadership as a real deal. It's not a joke at all. We must commit to ensuring that in leading, we are making people better off. We are making difference in the lives of people. We are making impact wherever you are. And the impact is both social impact and your personal impact as well. My number again, if you want to reach me, 0246 189847. 0246 189847. I'm available to come to your schools, your institutions, your organizations, your groups that you have. Let's have a chat. Let's be able to unravel this whole thing about leadership and how we can lead, starting from ourselves, to be able to drive a purpose-driven life and lead with authenticity. It's very important. Let's not fake about it. Thank you.
Thank you too, Reverend. Thank you so much for passing through.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And spicing up our day with this awesome book, Leading Inside Out. It is the secret to true and extraordinary influence. Remember, true leadership begins with you. And that's what Reverend says in this book. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vicky.
Next week, we are on again with another interesting book. And so we are building your library for you. Don't forget that. And so keep staying with us right here on the Writer's Blog Talk Show. I am Vicky Amwa. The Writer's Blog, read, write, Indulge your mind.
Thank you for listening to and watching the Writer's Blog Talk Show on this channel. The book review show is designed with you and your child in mind. For enquiries about how you can sponsor, partner, advertise, or have your book reviewed on the show, call or send an SMS, Telegram, or WhatsApp message to +233 552 535 036 or +233 208 428 322, or send an email to writersbloggh@gmail.com. Follow us on social media: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, podcast at Writers Blog GH or The Writers Blog Talk Show. Visit our website www.thewritersbloggh.com. This program is powered by Review Multimedia Limited. Join us next time for another exciting edition. The Writers Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I love books and enjoy reading. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is to read. If I go for a run, I listen to an audiobook. In my leisure moments, I read whilst enjoying some good music. Are you an avid reader, or you're not learning how to read? Maybe you used to enjoy reading, but somehow it has become a thing of the past. Come on this journey with my guests and I as we dive into various books and themes these books talk about. Every week, I speak to various authors who are behind life-transforming books, as well as promote various stakeholders within the publishing industry. The Kiddie Zone segment on the show is meant specifically to ignite reading interest in your child. Watch The Writer's Blog on this station and on Sunny 88.7 FM every Saturday at 1 p.m. This program is powered by Reveal Multimedia and supported by The Writer's Blog. Read, write, indulge your mind.